Good morning, YouTube. It's time to fire up another truck. This monstrosity is my toy hauler. This is what we're going to load the Triumph into here in another week or so. So I need to get this thing ready to go. We haven't fired this up for, well, it's been a while. We'll see if it'll fire it up. Fired up and moved out of here, and then we'll kind of go over things. Ooh, those batteries are not way up, so nope. Okay, time for a battery charger. Alright, we'll let that charge for a bit. Maybe this thing will fire and run. Who knows? Guess we could do a little quick walk around while that's charging. It's got a diesel, well, it's a generator. It's a 110 generator. It has air conditioning and it has heat. So, which is plumbed into the sleeper, which is handy if you're in the sleeper. It does work pretty well. This is an old fuel tank that we reconstituted and turned into a black and gray water tank, because I've got one of the HEPVO valves, so you can run everything into one wastewater tank, which works out pretty well. And then just got a 55-gallon plastic food grade tank that's got water in it for the shower and the toilet. It's a single axle, but it's got an air tag that I really don't need on it, but who knows what the future entails, so I'll leave that air tag on there. And then I added a lift gate to it so that we can load whatever we want to in it. Works well for motorcycles. Last time I fired this up was probably last fall. This has got the C-Series, the 8.3 Cummins, kind of the big brother to the 5.9 in the Dodge pickups. This has got the P-pump as well. It's not the original engine. It's not the original tranny either. It's got a Eaton Fuller 10-speed in it now. I don't know what it originally had for an engine. Probably a 466, one of the electronic ones. The dash was fully electronic, so I just made this plate and put the gauges I needed in it. Well, all except whatever's still going there. I don't even remember what that hole's for, but it hasn't been used yet. Okay. Got a backup camera on it with a nice big screen. It's kind of handy. out in the sunlight, we can do a little bit of a walk around. Yeah, under here are the house batteries. They're for running the water pump, and I don't remember what all else. And of course, got the, I guess it's the front door. And then last year, I put in a mini split. I had intended to use, I'd put these hangers in. I was going to mount another fuel tank back here, but I decided, because we hadn't been doing as much boondocking as I assumed, and we were next to electrical quite a bit of the time, so we'll put a mini split in, we'll give it a try. So, I want to go up inside. First off, these steps. These things are amazing if you're wearing muddy boots or if you're wet. However, in the middle of the night, in bare feet, they are worse than any pile of Legos that you have ever stepped on. Okay, a little quick look around. It's not exactly neat and tidy. It's been setting for quite a while. We did just use it here like a month ago because my buddy got COVID and had to isolate when he was up here for a week, so he ended up staying in it. So apparently the mini split did work for him, he said, but I haven't actually tried it. So I've got chocks for the motorcycles that I made. I've got 3 of them, and I've inserted these things go into the floor. Let's see, let me round them up. They're in here, yeah. They're basically like this. This is one of the bigger ones. You put the insert in the floor, and then you can screw these in so you've got tie downs. I think the front one's the smaller ones. I don't think they swivel. No, they don't. And I had to make some spacers. Well, I didn't make them. I just found some spacers. Let's see. I'm going to have to get a screwdriver. Okay, I've got this. These things use a little plastic insert to plug the hole. And then in the back, I just put a bolt. So then you run your motorcycle in, of course, put the front wheel up there, and then you've got your tie downs, which this also has the E-track in the sides, but this works pretty well. I've got them staggered on the floor so that I can pretty easily get 3 bikes in. This awning is for the back, for the right off the back of the truck, because we use the lift gate as a deck, which is kind of nice when you're in a crowded area because you're up off the ground 4 foot, so it really gives you a pretty good vantage point. Over here we've got a decent sized mattress that fits pretty well on top of these 2 army cots a buddy of mine gave me, and they come in really handy. You know, anyway, they work. You just set them next to each other, and then you've got a decent sized bed, which is kind of handy. Oh, up on the roof, it's the fiberglass roof, which lets in a lot of light, but it also lets in a lot of heat in the summertime. So we set these 4x8 just the foam panels we slide them out to cover it, which helps quite a bit. And I should probably put them in permanently, but oh, I really like the light. This thing, you know, when you want the light, it's really handy to have. So it's just kind of set there for now. We've got a little 110 deep freeze that I just keep strapped in here because there's times when I want this wide open and I don't want to have to permanently mount stuff. I run it's called I don't know, it's a Johnson control. It's a thing you can set the temp so that the deep freeze itself isn't doing it. It's got a sensor that drops down in. So it's kind of handy because you can set that like just right at freezing or just slightly above. So then the bottom of the freezer stays frozen, but the top of it doesn't, which is it's kind of handy if you're plugged in somewhere. The shower. I put a big shower in because I was in a buddy's shower once in his camper and it had just a curtain on it and it stuck to me the whole time, and whew, that was maybe not the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but it's pretty close. So we got this bigger shower. I've had to modify the wheels on the thing because amazingly a household shower does not stand up well to road use, but it is what it is. It's a pretty decent sized one. I use a little, I don't have it in here. I've got a little 110 volt water heater that we plumb in when we're using it. This is the bathroom, which you can see all the plumbing and the wiring, which is cobbled up, but it's functional. And the toilet with the requisite bidet. There you go. There's a bidet in there because, you know, I'm not a monster. When I made this wall, this door seemed like a good idea, and it is a good idea, but it is too close. It needs to be farther out because you're in there. It's just tight. This was the original walkway through into the sleeper, which wasn't actually a walkway, but it is now. And I never could find anything that would stand up to seal between the two that was flexible. But I ended up taking an old junk fire hose and took the outer sheet, which is rubber lined, and laid in, which is, yeah, terrible looking. Kind of like the whole thing, but it works. So far it's kept it dry. Of course, this is the sleeper. You do have the option to make a bed out of this bottom. These, there's a tabletop around somewhere that sits there, and then these come in. And it's kind of handy if it's super hot and you're boondocking and you need air. You can at least get in here and stay kind of cool. The heaters I have put in only because I was camping one time and it was into the freezing area, and I didn't want to fire the generator up just to make heat. So decided next time I would be a little more prepared. This screen door is kind of handy. This is the one of the ones with the internal screen. It's just a household one. It has stood up very well. I'm impressed with it because we've been using this thing for quite a while, and it has stood the test of time. Granted, there's not a lot of flexing right there, but I'm going to go ahead and put that tailgate down so you can see how that thing operates. That's the master kill for the gate. Then we might do this together because It's been 2 years since I've done this, so I'm gonna have to try and remember exactly how this works. And hopefully the battery's not dead on this thing. Oh, nope. Okay. All right, that's working. It drops down into that slot to lock on both sides. And I'm gonna have to use 2 hands to do this. Okay, so this is the gate folded out. Yep. If I just hit the remote, this is a winch remote that I don't know, probably got it off, I don't know. It's a little sticky, but anyway, you can just drive right on. And you head right back up. I've got a pair of chains, and I've got them marked with a paint mark. Drop that in there, and then lower that down. Works better with 2 hands. Anyway, put one on each side, lower it down. Then, if we're parked for days at a time and using this as a deck, then the hydraulics isn't holding it, it's just the chain on each side. And somewhere around I've got a set of wooden stairs that I made for this that we just drop, just kind of slide under and it catches right on the edge. Helps support the end too. But once the truck's dropped off the airbags and setting down, it's really pretty stable. It's handy for loading stuff and unloading. Then when I want to fold this back up, the secondary marks on this with the zip tie, I put on there and just drop it. It's not fast. But it saves having to pick it by hand. Once it's up high enough, it's not too bad to lift. Then you got to make sure your lock is in the up position. Basically, just raise it on up. Let's see. Then back down. Once it's down, this conglomeration of linch pins and cotter pins, whatever the hell we got here, to lock that in when it's running down the road. And there's also a manual switch, and then I've got another remote too, that whatever winch thing I got off eBay. Came with the key ring one, and then another bigger remote. It's the same ones I use on the winch on the trailer, which are kind of handy. Other than that, I guess I can't think of what else to tell you on this. So if you got any questions, drop them in the comments section. I'll see if I can answer them. Oh, hello. Hello. Well, they seem active enough. I guess I'll leave them alone for right now. That awning that they're on, I picked up a few years ago. It was new off eBay, and of course I didn't open it for months after I got it. And after putting it on, we used it one time, and there was some sort of crack noise up in there, and I don't know if it was a drive motor or what. Something broke anyway, so now it won't extend, which is a little infuriating, but it's too late to return it, so I'll need to pull it down and take it apart one of these days and figure out what went wrong. Hopefully we can fix it. The bed itself, or the box, is 24 foot long. It used to be a uniform delivery body. It was gutted when I got it. I don't know what truck it was on to begin with, but obviously it wasn't this one. Of course, it didn't have any windows in it either when I got it. I put those in, yanked those out of a old camper I junked out. They're not ideal, but I had them, so I put them in. But that may be, oh, the name. Like all good nicknames, you don't give them to yourself, and I didn't give that name to this truck. That was from a buddy up at, we were at a motorcycle kind of camp out thing up in northern Nebraska, and that came about during a night of debauchery around a campfire. So I figured the name stuck, so I may as well put it on there. Thanks for watching, and until next time, toodaloo.